Sunanda, you have to come a bit. You're not clear.
Little, yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, friends. We welcome you all to the Deccan Positive Mental Health. Today topic is resilience, how we can bouncing back when we are in adverse situation that we are going to discuss. Today our panelist is our mentor and our DPMH secretary, Dinakara sir, then art therapist Sudharamani, then Kalyani, special educator, then Aru, our
Counselor.
team member. We are all going to share our knowledge about what is resilience and why we have to enhance, or what are the strategies that we are going to discuss today. Resilience is the ability to withstand adversity and bounce back from difficult events. According to American Psychology Association, it defines resilience as the process of adapting well in face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or even significant sources of stress that we are going to discuss as a panel discussion. Yeah, friends, we can start now. I think Sudhagar will share her thought. Yeah, please go ahead.
You wanted to share 2 stories. Go ahead.
Yeah. First, I would like to present this some knowledge. I mean, whatever I know in the form of a story. There are 2 stories I have thought to say about resilience. First story is, both are about frogs only. There are 2 frogs. Many of you might have listened already. I don't know, but this is the story of 2 frogs. They have fallen in a vessel full of milk, not full, half. So both the frogs were trying to come out of it. The vessel was little bigger one, so half of the means they were not able to reach the top to come out of the vessel. So one of the frogs, they tried and rolled around in the water, in the milk, but one of the frogs gave up hope and it stopped working on it, and eventually it died. The other frog, it continued its work and it churned the milk, and finally the butter came out of it, and it was able to climb on it, and eventually it came out of it. So it survived. Whenever any adverse situation comes in, hopeful. I mean, resilience is one of the main component of resilience is also being hopeful and not how to be present to solve the problem. That is also one of the key skills of resilience. So the frog was hopeful that it is able to survive. That's why it is able to come out of it, and it tried her best to come out of it. This is one part. There is another story where here also 2 frogs are there. They have fallen in a vessel of hot water. Not hot water. It was in the put on the stove, and slowly the water is getting hotter and hotter. So first, when they fell off, the water was little manageable heat. So they were okay. The other frog was, both of them talked to each other that, hey, let's come out, let's get out of this. The water is getting hard. One frog told the other one. The other one told, hey, it is still, we can survive, no problem. Nothing is going to happen to us. So the other frog was so thoughtful, and when it is little unbearable for the other frog, it told the second one, I am jumping out of it. The water is getting hotter and hotter. I cannot survive this. I think we have to do the action right now. And it jumped out. The other frog thought, I can. But when the water is getting hotter and hotter, it's impossible for it to come out of the water because it cannot. I mean, everything was boiling now. So here, why I told this story is, if you are not able to. Resilience means adapting to the situations, one of the key skills. But if you adapt to the wrong situation and you struggle yourself, it's not being resilient, I mean. So when the situation is being present is important. That's why I said being in the present moment is important. How you have to know your strengths, where to cut off and where to move ahead. You need to understand. Then you will be definitely in a better place. The pressure will not be there, the stress will not be there, and you won't end up losing what you want. That's these are my thoughts on resilience. Being over resilient is also not good in life. Everything should be in balance. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you,
Very
Sudha.
good.
Yeah. Please, sir, share your thoughts, sir.
So Kalyani. Aru, you want to start? No, you unmute. Aru, you
Your
have
wish.
to unmute.
Your wish.
Kalyani?
Anything is okay with me.
Yeah. We have to make a judgment call at every situation. Like Sudha Ramani ji says, like judge each situation and see how far we can go ahead, where to cut it off, how much to pursue, how much to let go. All these are things as I think wisdom plays. Our own wisdom, our inner voice will tell us how to navigate through challenging situations. I also have a small story. Can I share?
Please. You're a
So
panelist.
this is about something related to boiling only. While she was narrating, I was recollecting this story. This is about an egg which is in a liquid state before boiling, and a potato which is hard before boiling. But when they're boiled together in a hot water pot, the egg becomes hard, whereas the potato becomes soft.
Correct.
So this is again how we seemingly soft people can really rise up to a situation and become resilient. And seemingly hard, like potato people, can become soft when they are facing a certain situations. It's up to us. Our own personalities also play a major role. How we treat, how we respond to a challenging situation. Now, it'll be nice if each one of us can narrate a story from our own lives also. That will make it even more interesting. Don't you all think so?
We do agree. Can you share your story then? Of course, I know your story. Do you mind to
I'm
share?
thinking, okay, it is a very challenging situation for me when my husband decided to move to Saudi Arabia. My first mental block was that I have to wear the black robe, abaya, burqa, all the time.
Hijab.
So he went ahead 6 months before me, and I went 6 months later. It's a different situation, of course. My younger daughter was studying in 10th. After her exams, we wanted to move. But for me, that situation acted as a cushioning for me to, delay my process of shifting to Saudi Arabia. But for me, mental block was really, because I always visualize all this. I used to live in Hyderabad much earlier. My whole childhood was spent in Hyderabad. So I used to visualize only this Dabirpura Charminar kind of Muslims wearing the burqa, and I was completely resisting that thought at all. But finally, somehow he convinced me, and I went there with a lot of reservations in my mind. But while I was there, initially it was a very difficult, challenging situation for me. But I thought, how can I? For me, there was social leaving, letting go of my social circle, my friends, my family, and going into a place where I'm totally against going to. And language barrier, it was not easy to make friends there. It's a very closed society. And of course, being a woman, I can't approach a man, neither can I approach a Saudi woman also. So it was that kind of a situation. Then the way I dealt with the situation was how can make myself useful? I was a counselor. I was very active in Bangalore. I was living in Bangalore, and I was everywhere dealing with my life on my own. Hardly I used to take my husband's help. Here I had to be dependent on him for everything. So it was like my entire earth moved away from underneath my legs, So that was very, very challenging situation for me. Then I said, okay, enough of crying, enough of complaining, enough of all this. How can I make myself useful in this situation? Then I started scrolling through the net, thinking, okay, where else I have a language barrier? So let me break that barrier first. I tried learning Arabic, but that was very challenging. Then I said, let me make use of my languages, what I know. So I was looking for institutions like CRY, UNICEF, and all where I can go and offer my services as a counselor. The presence of these institutions in Saudi, that they were not there, but I bumped upon online United Nations volunteering services. So I became a volunteer as a United Nations counselor and online English teaching courses that I was conducting. I underwent 3 interviews and I was selected because of my counseling background plus teaching background. And I was sitting in Riyadh. I was teaching children in Tamil Nadu villages conversational English classes. And that led me to, in 2013, led me to win an award as one of the best 13 conversational English teachers in the whole world. So I was invited to Delhi and I was given the award. So it was like breaking our own barriers. What I'm trying to say is, given the situation, given our own capabilities, if we can see beyond them and break those barriers, we can achieve, we can become resilient. So I broke my own, and also I pursued my own artistic talents. And I used to start going and exhibiting my artwork, and I was a very, very shy artist, to put it. People would never know that I'm an artist, but that is a place which actually gave me an opportunity to go and exhibit my artwork in different various expat compounds. Actually, I went along selling a lot of my art pieces there. So these are the things which actually, now if I face any situation, I think, okay, how can I break this barrier? I feel this resilience is what Saudi Arabia has taught me. So this is my story of breaking my own resilience. Building my own resilience and breaking my barriers. So
Great.
I feel really good about narrating this story in this panel.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the opportunity.
Thank you. Kalyani, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good
I
evening.
think resilience is something which was easy for me. I had situations where I had no option but to be resilient. I feel like that, but it's easy to. For me, it was okay to implement, but I would like to, teach resilience to children. And basically the generation right now, the young generation, because they are really struggling with resilience. They are finding it very difficult, and so they get demotivated and all that. So I think it's more difficult to teach. It was okay when I had to be resilient. I did it. There are many situations which I would like to share. One of them, But many situations where I had to be resilient, I had no option. That's what I feel. Resilience is a skill which I think is very, very important for everybody. So I think sometimes there's no option but to be resilient. So, but right now I feel more than me implementing, teaching resilience has become very important, for the next generation, whether it is my own children or my students. So that's where I want like to use resilience and focus more on that. But yeah, so in 2004, my daughter was only about 4 5 months old, and my mother had a stroke, and she passed away suddenly, like just in a couple of days. My daughter was very small. In fact, my husband didn't have a job also at that point of time because he just finished his SAP, and he was a fresher, so he was not getting placed. And same time, soon after my mom passed away, within like 13 days, even before it was 15 days, my father was detected with cancer, and that too like kind of third stage. So everything, like, it was too much for him, first of all, to take that trauma of your wife not being there, and he was very dependent on her. So watching him was very depressing for all of us. So that was a worst maybe period of my life where I had to handle a lot of things. Two children. One was 7-year old, and he didn't know what was happening. My son and this girl was only about 5 months old when my mom passed away, and they were staying with us to help me with the baby and all that. So that was one thing. Then my father being sick, and he only survived for another year. So he passed away in 2005. So that period was, very bad, and I had no choice but to, take all that. So I think the qualities which help to be resilient. So I think that's one of the times when I had to be resilient. There are many more, but I think this was a major thing in my life. So I think the qualities which make you resilient are: one is positive thinking, and one is self belief that okay, you can do it, and acceptance of, first of all, acceptance of the situation. You should not be in denial mode. If you deny, then it's very difficult for you, it becomes worse. So I think first thing is accept whatever is the situation the way it is. Okay, this is my life right now, and what is that I already have which I can use to come out of the situation, or uh, bring, like, uh, overcome the challenge there. So I think self belief, from which self motivation will come from self belief, and strong willpower. So you need to build your these skills immediately to come out of that situation. Then also not take things as they come. I mean, it could be a threat, it could be a challenge, but take it as maybe a learning experience. It's okay, this time will also pass, is what you'll have to. And yeah, I mean, I had to accept that my dad was dying, no option, and I was the only child in India. All my siblings were abroad. So we were the only ones handling his situation, watching him suffer every day. So that was a very difficult part where I had to be resilient. One of the situations, then there were many more, but they were not as big as this one. So I think, but there are qualities which can help us be resilient, and I've been practicing that. So I think I'm quite resilient, and how I do it is I just tell myself that I can, I'm capable, I have some certain strengths which I can use to overcome. But but telling this to somebody else, I mean, teaching resilience, I'm finding it difficult. That is the challenge for me. When I think of resilience, I really want children also to get this, be resilient, because I think they are the future, they are the next generation. and you feel very sad that at very young ages they're giving up,
Yeah.
So we should tell them not to give up. And I would really want to motivate the young adults. I would like to tell them that nothing is a huge problem. Okay, don't make it big. I always tell them, don't, zoom in, don't zoom out. Always, that's my quote. So I say that don't make it big. I tell my children also, and my students also, don't make things bigger than they are. Okay, just treat them as smaller and not a big thing. So we can do it. We have help. Approach somebody. You're not alone in this world. So like Ikigai says, community. You should use people in your community to help each other and take help from each other. Right? We have people around us. So I think resilience, all these qualities, positive thinking, will help. Self-belief would help. So I feel this is how we can do it. But yeah, more than me implementing, I would like to spread it, more, teach the children to be resilient. That's my
All the best to you.
thank you so much, man.
Yeah, I can. I have seen Kalyani all through this.
Yeah, you can share
being-
some more. Maybe about it.
Yes, yes. And I have seen her mother. I mean, the situation was really tough situation for her, and her dad was he's still, I feel he is my
Yes.
best friend. I miss him now also actually. Whenever he is very, supportive
He's
too, and
very socially active person. My father
that's
was
right. He is a guide for me in my life after my marriage. So I always used to look up to him actually. Okay, some days are like that. We have to accept, as she
yes,
said.
yes.
Sunanda, you want to share anything, or shall I?
Yeah, just now Aruma mentioned breaking the barriers. Then Kalyani ma'am mentioned I can do it. These are the positive affirmations. These too shall pass.
Yes.
That attitude we have to teach ourselves as well as our kids are with our students. We have to teach these positive affirmations. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
I used to very often tell myself when I am in a difficulty, this too shall pass or I shall pass. So nothing to worry.
Very true.
Yeah, my husband's 2 lines are like, if you are able to control some situations, like everybody says actually, if you are able to control, there is no worry. If you are not able to control, then accept it and enjoy the music.
No worry.
Then also no worry. Dance with the
Enjoy
tune,
that
that's it.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends, let me start. I'll be talking slightly differently. Most of the time, people think resilience means bouncing back. You know what is bouncing back? You take a rubber ball and hit at the wall, it comes out so fast. But resilience is not that. You cannot bounce back. You fall into a situation or a ditch, you have to crawl back. During your crawling back, you will learn the lessons. Resilience can never be like a bouncing back. That is one point I want to make. Because even we practice resilience, but we also fall into ditch sometimes. And we understand ourselves. We crawl ourselves out of the ditch. That is resilience. Resilience, you should have determination, perseverance, and focus. Then you will come. Second point is resilience is closely linked with AQ. AQ. I don't know how many people are thorough with the AQ. People talk about IQ, intelligent quotients, EQ, emotional quotient. Nowadays they are also adding SQ, social quotient. But there is AQ, adversity quotient. Most of the time, if you have seen the parents, their children, they are so protective. They don't want them to do anything risky, anything uncharted course they don't want to do. And every time they are there to protect them. And in that course, what they do, they make their children in an adverse situation helpless. They try to look for the father, mother, or some guide. When they grow up also, when they're pre-adult or adult or grown up, when they face a difficult situation, traumatic situation, they don't know how to handle because they have not developed the adversity quotient. Therefore, my request to all the parents, whoever is listening, is allow your children to sprout wings and fly. But at the same time, be there for them. That is why I tell my two daughters. I'm having two daughters and three granddaughters. One is in one daughter in Atlanta, one is in Goa. Both are coming on 21st just for a week to be with me. But I tell my kids, daughters, you manage the whole life situation. One is 50 years, another is 46 years. You manage the situation. But when you require, you tell me, I'll come with my samurai sword. I hope you know what is samurai sword. Samurai sword is the katana or the sword used by Japanese samurai warriors. I come with that, stand between you and the world. I will face the world and protect you, provided you want me to come. Otherwise, I will be here watching you progressing, sprouting your wings, and flying high. That is what I tell the kids. Even now, I am 78. If they want, I'll go. Of course, with my sword or without sword, that's a different thing, but I am ready for them. And about the personal story I want to share. When first time I went to Minneapolis when my daughter was there, then came back, and two, three times I went. In one trip, I was a slight low back pain I was having. Then I went there, and I was fascinated by six gear or seven gear cycles. And I used to pedal six gear, seven gear cycles, and also do the heavy lawn mowing machine I used to do. Then I developed a severe low back pain, unbearable. Then, because I know yoga, I thought doing yoga will come out of it. I hope most of you know Ardha Chandrasana. All those asanas I used to. Then completely I was out. One leg has become twisted like that. I couldn't walk more than two or three steps. And finally, my wife brought me from USA to India by wheelchair. I came back by wheelchair, and doctor said, that is on Saturday, Monday you come to the hospital, we will do some laminectomy or something. That means cutting open the vertebra, removing the disc, and etc. because it is severe sciatica. One of my friends told me, don't go for operation now. I will suggest a physiotherapist. That is a Muslim gentleman. He has come from Charminar. Every day he used to come and treat me. And after 1 month, I was GM at that time. My MD asked me, please come to the office. Remaining two GMs are on leave. Then my room, I put a bed with a curtain and also pedestal so that I used to stand and do my work. By 2:33, pain used to be very much. Then I used to go back, but I used to attend. Then somebody told me, sir, why don't you try acupuncture. They have suggested name of a doctor by name Armugam. He's in Trimalgiri. I went to him. He said, I'll give you 40 days treatment. After that, you will never get there. He gave the treatment to me. I have become far better. But I was still having that uneasiness, mental block. Physically, I was cured, but mentally, I'm blocked. Then I was transferred to Patiala in Punjab. I don't know where Patiala is. I have never gone to that side. And then I thought of resigning the bank at that time without any background of any, I'm not having industry or shops or anything like that. Just a thought has come that better I resign. But my wife is a great support to me. He is my vertebra. Aru knows it. My vertebra and my brain, all she is. He said, don't do that. I am with you. Then I went to Patiala. Then I used to wear a belt. Then I've become so happy and successful there because in Punjab, most of the Sardarjis, why Guruji ka Khalsa, why Guruji ka Fateh. What boss says they will do. My PS was Sardarji, my driver was Sardarji, my gardener was Sardarji, everything. They never allowed me to do any work, personal work. Everything they used to get it done. Then I used to tour the branches. I gave a slogan to them. Mian mein ek hi talwar. Rural and semi-urban branches mein ek hi bank, State Bank of Patiala. Mian means sheath of a sword. Scabbard they call. And they have put that slogan in every branch. Mian mein ek hi sword, ek hi talwar. Rural and semi-urban areas mein ek hi bank, State Bank of Patiala. It has become so famous. And I have also introduced so many schemes, SBP, Vijayat, and etc., which were later on adopted by all other associate banks and some other nationalized banks. What I'm saying is because of my determination and of course support from my wife and my friends, I was in a position to come. This is Resilience means I've cured of low back pain, I'll go and win the battle. No. Every time, whenever you have a problem, whenever you are facing a situation, you have to look into yourself, get back that extra energy, and get back that concept of resilience. One more point I want to tell is when you strengthen the muscle, you do dumbbells or weightlifting, the muscle will get strengthened. Like that resilience mental muscle will also get strengthened by regular practice. In any situation, you have to say, yes, in this situation, how we have to handle it, how we have to cope up with, what are the inner resources I'm having, what is the inner energies I'm having, let me bring them out, then go ahead. Please, again, one more statement I'll make. Confidence is like a camphor which evaporates in the face of adversity. You have to rebuild it. Please don't think confidence is like iron metal sitting in your brain. No. Any situation, it tries to evaporate. Then you have to hold it. You have to again strengthen yourself. Resilience means strengthen. You may fall weak, again re-strengthen. As you go on re-strengthening, your mental resilience muscle will get strengthened. Therefore, my friends, please remember, no bouncing back. You are not a rubber ball. In a situation, you go and come and say, I have done successfully. You will have internal struggle, mental struggle. But because you are capable of doing these things and you know your reserves, you will come out of it. Therefore, this is my personal story and my advice to all the youngsters, including the panelists, and also the people whoever is going to listen. I know the story of Aru. I don't want to tell, but among our cousins, one of the most resilient persons is. I know the health problems she has. I don't want to share here. Somebody has to. Ponnada, I think you have to. Mic, you have switching. Mic, you have mute. A lot of sounds are coming. We have to please remember everyone has to develop our resilience mental muscle. Thank you very much. Sunanda, you can continue.
Thank you for sharing, Anna.
Thank you.
Yeah, just now Sir mentioned crawling back, right? For that, I can quote Martin Luther King quotation. If you cannot fly, then run. If you cannot run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's true. Very nice.
Yeah.
So
The
we were.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No,
please
no.
go ahead.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you carry on.
Okay, go ahead.
No. There's just three magic words that I always abide by. All three A's. We call it the three A's. I have learned these while training as a counselor. That is, first is awareness, then acceptance, then action. So it's not that all three come one after the other, but they can sometimes take years together before your awareness is there and acceptance coming. It may take time. And before you take some action against that whatever situation, and some more years might pass. So it's all a process that happens, to each person. And before they start taking action, there are a few more years that might just pass away. So it's awareness really helps, and accepting, and all this need not or cannot happen just by ourselves. It can happen through taking the help of another trusted person, a counselor, a therapist. All these people can help us. So that is something I learned. It was really very nice.
Correct. Very happy. Critical thing is awareness. Awareness of your own strengths. And lot of time we are having a lot of inner untapped energies.
Correct.
And if we can tap that, we will come out of it. And people ask me, at the age of 78, why you get up at 4:30? Because a lot of youngsters will be sleeping up to 7 or 8. I said it is my personal philosophy to keep myself physically, emotionally, intellectually balanced and face any situation. You will be surprised if I share with you. At this age also, in any situation where it is necessary to get into physical fight, I am not afraid of. Because I know if that fellow is going to kill me, before he kills me, I can give at least one punch to him because I have learned for 3 years martial arts. Not now, long back when I was 40 or so. That means what they call in karate brown belt. But what I'm saying is the confidence is still there. Whether the ability is there is a different thing. Because I can't move as fast when I was young. But at least I know I can defend myself. I can at least give a punch before the fellow kills me. What I'm saying is that awareness and bringing out the inner strength that is more important in handling any difficult situation. As Kalyani said, Kalyani or Sudha, I've forgotten. When a problem is there, you have to make yourself bigger than the problem. Most of the time, as Kalyani said, we zoom problem to such a Himalayan thing, we feel as if we are dwarfs. No, you are Lord Hanuman. You grow and problem becomes small. You know the comparative thing. Most of the time, youngsters see the problem as insurmountable. It is difficult to handle. No, you are much more bigger than the problem. As Sudha said, and I'll pass or I'll pass out, something like that. Aru said, I think. You handle it. And Sudha said, you control it. No worry. Don't control it. No worry. What is the problem? I used to talk about the concept of known as 3 circles. I don't know how many people know. Circle of concern, circle of influence, circle of control. You can control only those things which are within the circle of control. Influence is you can influence others by the, for example, Sonanda arranges panelist talks. We can influence people who are trying to listen, but you can't control them. Circle of concern, what is happening in Israel and Gaza, what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. But there is only concern. But most of the people take the concern as if control, they get worried, stressed out, go to the doctors, getting into a lot of heated arguments. What I'm saying is, circle of control is within you. Therefore, exercise that, and resilience is the critical part of that internal control. Sunanda, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Sudha want to share. Sir.
Sudha, you want to share?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sudha.
Yes, sir. I mean, you're mentioning about the balance, self-awareness, all these things. In that, whenever we talk about resilience, there is a process, actually, window of tolerance, where you are standing in the window of tolerance. Like, if you take it as a window, the upper portion, this is the balance, and the upper portion is hyperarousal, and the lower portion is hypoarousal. Hyperarousal means if you are seeing that as a overreacting or overaggression, everything is overstimulated here. And otherwise, we may end up looking at that as we are very small and we cannot handle social withdrawal, depression, everything happens. If you are aware of your strengths, where you are standing. So, for example, for emotional regulation also, if we wait for 90 seconds or something, you only posted in the group along a few days ago, I think, to control our emotions, balance our emotions, we need to wait for just a few seconds to before uttering any wrong word or wrong sentence to others. So this balance, that awareness we need to have, that regulation we need to practice to be on the window of tolerance, which is productive, which is helpful for us to be productive. I mean, it's a tool for resilience, being resilient, practicing resilience, I mean.
Very true, Sudha. Yeah, Kalyani ma'am, you can share your thoughts now.
I'm listening today more than wanting to speak. Yeah, as Sudha said, I think that balance is very, very important. For that, I think we need to understand that we do already have certain strengths. If you identify that, be aware of our strengths, automatically you'll become resilient. It will come. It's like you need to have that belief, and that is what we need to tell everybody. As Sir said, prepare them, tell them that you can do it. So I think balance is very, very important for resilience. So, but as adults, I think we all are somewhere resilient, so we get there. Most of us understand this, but yeah, as I said, it's very important that we also have the capacity to help others be resilient. As counselors, I think teaching resilience is, I think, very important. So this, I think, window of tolerance which she spoke about, I think that we could give them as an example. But sometimes, problem is they feel we don't understand their problem. That's the whole thing. They say that you don't know what I'm going through. That's what most of the clients and students say. So that is something we have to convince them that no, everybody goes through these situations. Adversities, challenges are all a part of life. I mean, nobody's life will be very smooth and everything will be perfect all the time. So that is acceptance, of course. We have to we teach them acceptance first, awareness, acceptance, as Aruman said very rightly. So I think this is the process, as you're saying. We need to teach them this process. And I think if I feel more than what we are doing in our lives with our lives, how we are able to make a difference to others' lives is more satisfying, and I think that is the challenge. So that will be more of a this thing to feel good about. So how many lives are we making a difference is what is important, is what I feel. Yeah, but I think we should use all these techniques we all have shared, with our clients and students, which would help. I think surely help. Yes, thank you so much.
Sudha, go ahead.
Thank you.
Sudha,
Yeah, here when the client is not ready to, or any child, when they are not able to see their things at the positive side of their situations, then we can give a gist of, for example, if a child is not getting marks in math, previous year he might have got good marks, but this year he is not getting any positive. He's just crossing 40% like that. We can give an example of how he has done.
Yes,
looking at the previous successes would help, and then we can make them identify the strengths, gratitude journal or a strengths journal, like that they can, and what blessings they have to reach that level. All these things will make them resilient. It may help them. That's what
make them aware of their strengths.
Correct.
Yes, we do that. Yeah.
And who is the support system for getting forward, moving forward?
Correct.
Like that. These pointers for children, they may relate to that. Make them. I usually make children draw like that. You are in the center. What is the close circle? Family. Then family and friends. Support system. Then the teachers and who are mentors, whoever are there. Then whenever you have any issue, where do you go? Maybe aunt or uncle or cousin, they will come into that circle. So then they will identify that support system, and whenever they have, you can go to them. Whenever you have some situations, like I usually go to my uncle Kalyani's dad whenever I have a family fight with my husband or something to handle the situation. I used to bring him in to convince my husband, because my husband is a die-hard follower of her dad.
He would listen to him, na?
Definitely. So it helps us if we can help children like that.
Correct. Yes, I do that. When I did that session on self-harm, I told them that only. Don't think that you're helpless, you don't have anybody.
Yeah, sometimes generalization gives them a lot of hope. They may lose hope if you generalize the situation. So identifying their own strengths may help them. That's what I feel.
Yes, self-belief.
That is the situation. We are all saying that they should become self-aware. But who's actually going to make them go through that process?
That's what
do the teachers have the time? Do the parents have the time?
Yeah.
Do the friends who may be spending more time with them, do they have the ability to make the others find those strengths? So this is the situation that I think all youngsters are in.
Yes.
So unless the curriculum itself builds.
Value education is there in the schools, but who is teaching that? How they are teaching? That is the major concern.
Yeah, this is something I think these are things, these are the skills that should be taught along with all subjects right from childhood.
Yes.
And it's very extremely important, I feel.
Yes.
So the soft skills, what we call, a person may be achieving 95%, 98%, whatever in their, overall educational system. But when they don't have these kind of skills, they find themselves, at sea without
In a
any
soup.
support.
Yeah.
So these are the things I feel one should concentrate in school curriculum, because that is where the children are spending most time. And that is the ideal environment for them to pick up these skills as well.
Go ahead, Sunanda.
No, in our childhood, we learn a lot of things from Chandamama, Champak, right? Nowadays, it's vanished. Again, I think now a new trend is coming, storytelling. Even celebrities also, they are giving voice to stories. They are making apps. That's good initiative. I think different things will work for different people. I may like art, Sudha may like yoga. In that way, it will differ. So, knowing strength, we are talking about knowing strength. Before that, be kind yourself.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-care is important.
Yeah, that is more important. Then, time to relax. In fast days, like noodles or instant things, we are not relaxing ourselves, we are not taking for ourselves. So relax yourself, doing meditation or listening some music, art, something. Then develop your own hobbies, interest. We can find others' interest or hobbies. We can store in our list. But we don't know where I am strengthened or what is my weakness. That we have to focus. Then spend time in nature. Nowadays mindful practice is more trending, so we can focus on that. Then look after your physical health, that is more important. When we are focusing on our mental health, as well as we have to focus physical health also. In starting, sir mentioned social health, emotional health, all will go hand in hand. So we have to focus all this. Be kind yourself, then knowing your interest and hobbies, then time for relaxation, looking your physical health. When we focus on this, we will get mind clarity. When adverse situation comes where I have to focus or what is important to me, that I can focus and I can travel back. Yes, sir, please go ahead. You're on mute, sir.
Friends, today is a very wonderful session, and the topic chosen by Sunanda is very good. I'm very happy that all of you have contributed your stories, your personal experiences, and your knowledge. I hope this will benefit all the people who are going to see this YouTube video Sunanda is going to upload in course of time. Therefore, personally, highly thankful to Sudha Ramani, Kirti, but I call her Sudha Unnada, Kalyani Garmella. I have not seen her father. I would have, if he were to be there, I would have met him tomorrow itself. Thanks to my cousin Aru, wonderful woman. Thanks to Sunanda for organizing this program. Thanks to myself for participating
Thank you all. Thank you.
effectively. Thank
Yeah,
you very
thank
much.
you, friends. Good night.
All
We
the
will meet
best.
in another session. Yeah.
Yeah, this topic is my favorite, so I skipped my class and I joined. It was going on there, but I wanted to be here.
Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sunanda.
for
Thank you, sir.
Everyone.
asking me to join the panel, and I really enjoyed the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye. Good night to all.
Bye.